I hope everybody can listen.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah. Any count on number of participants you can help me with?
Sir, they will log in from our website, sir. Here we cannot see.
Okay, very good. So let me start. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Manjunath. We have a company called Stevia World Agrotech based out of Bangalore. We started this more as a socio-economic entity, which very clear focus on, as our mission statement says, to support thousands of farmers, basically with an alternate crop in the medicinal and aromatic plant area, where they can improve their income per acre with less amount of water, with an assured market. So that's how we support thousands of farmers, help millions of people. So now stevia is a natural sweetener and it has a lot of medicinal and therapeutic values, which means we can help millions of people who are suffering from lifestyle disorders and have lost the sweetness in their life, if I can may say so. And of course, by doing these things, we can save billions of dollars. In fact, India in 2015 itself has spent about $43 billion just on curative measures on lifestyle disorders like diabetes. Globally, we spent something like $900 to $950 billion on medication on lifestyle disorders, almost about $1 trillion. Even if we can save 1%, 2%, 5%, it is going to be a big number, which we can always contribute. So the company started with a mission statement telling that we want to support thousands of farmers, help millions of people, saving billions of dollars with wellness of society at large. I want everybody to be happy and healthy. This is the motto, this is the mission which we started off with. What is the problem statement? So many company or any business or anything has to start with the problem statement. So what is the problem we are trying to address? Problem is lifestyle disorders. Today, I don't know of any single house which does not have diabetes or a blood pressure or a cancer or a obesity problem in India or around the world. So that lifestyle, these are all disorders and not diseases. I'm sure everybody knows the difference between disease and the disorder. This is only disorder, which means our system is not working the way it has to work because of certain ailments within itself. There is no external agency like a bacteria or a virus or an amoeba or a fungi getting into the body and creating problems. And if you look at it, these disorders can be avoided and can be cured and can be lived with also. In this area, if you look at it, India is almost called the diabetic capital of the world because we have the highest number of people suffering from diabetes in India. According to some older statistics, we had about 75 to 80 million people have already been confirmed type 2 diabetes, and equal number of numbers are in the border age. We are talking about 8.5 to 9% of the population is suffering from this disorder called diabetes, which can be avoided, which can be cured, and which can be endured. If you look at this is how, what are the disorders, what you can generally see is diabetes, hypertension, obesity, kidney failure, glaucoma, cancer, stroke. These are all disorders, just for your information. I can answer the questions at a later date, the difference between disease and disorder, if somebody wants to know more details about it. When you take a look at the statistics of adult death in India, close to 50% or even more, the underlying cause is supposed to be diabetes. As this World Health Organization statistics, 8.5% of the world population is already diabetic. And it is supposed to be growing at a very, very fast pace, going to double to about 17 to 18% by 2030. So it is much, much bigger pandemic than what it is expected to be. India itself in 2009 had almost about 1.6 million deaths were reported just because of diabetes. And as per statistics in adult, almost about 25% people are already diabetic. This is very, very alarming. And India has a trend to, offset of diabetes almost 10 years earlier when compared to the global standards. Earlier, people used to say 50 years plus. Later, it became 40 years plus. People are suffering at 30 years plus only diabetes and other things. When we look at what is the cause for this, is basically our lifestyle and added calories. Look at, there are a lot of clinical trials which are done, and according to various clinical trials, processed sugar is one of the root causes for these lifestyle disorders, because it adds a lot of high calories. It requires high glycemic index, which means it needs a lot of insulin in the body to digest or convert the glucose into energy. And it also comes with, how much ever clean you do it, processed chemical residue, because we want this sugar to be very crystal clear like a diamond. So when we use a lot of chemicals, and the final stage is the processing of sugar, so that remains. So these are the three main causes which makes sugar a big villain. And scientific clinical trials have shown that sugar is one of the root causes for more than 140 diseases and disorders. In Ayurveda and naturopathy, we call it as white poisons. They call it 3 white poisons. One of them is sugar, salt, and maida. To counter but sweetness is an important aspect of life. We cannot give up sweetness. So industry came up with artificial sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame, saccharin, neotame, etc. Yes, they don't get you diabetes, but they are highly toxic and highly carcinogenic, which supports cancer development in the body. So, and what happens is sugar and sweetness is very tightly coupled in our psychological mindset. It says that sweetness means sugar, sugar is sweetness, that's all. But we at Stevia World want to change that definition. We want to define sweetness is not just sugar, and we want to continue and say sugar is not sweet at all. I repeat for the benefit in different languages. Sweetness is not just sugar, and sugar is not sweet at all. Sihitana endare sakare unde alla, adre sakre sihine alla. Mitapan sirf shakkar nahi hai, lekin shakkar mita hi nahi hai. I don't know how many people will agree for it, but this is what we want to tell everybody, that there are alternate sweeteners which are safe, which are natural, and we can use it. And the whole world is looking at an alternate for this. Mother Nature is very great. She has given us alternate for everything and anything which are much more healthier. Stevia is one of them, as far as the sweetness is concerned. The botanical name for stevia is called Stevia rebaudiana bertoni, and the origins goes to Paraguay in South America. There, the local Gurani Indians have been using it for thousands of years, at least documented for 1,500 years. They've been using this like our tulsi in India. They've been using this both to sweeten their food as well as a medicine. Thanks to Dr. Moises Bertoni, who brought it out to the world, introduced it to the world, did a lot of research on this, and applied for approval for human consumption as a sweetener in 1935. But unfortunately, those were the peak industrialization area, and due to various industrial and commercial pressures, it was not approved till very late. What is so great about stevia is stevia sweetener, when we extract, is almost like 300 to 350 times sweeter than sugar. And the sugar or the sweetness which comes out of it is a compound called glycoside. Glycoside has no calories. It does not need insulin in the body to digest. It is zero glycemic index, does not have any carbohydrate, does not have any gluten. What a wonder. It is sweet, but it is not having any calories. Not only that, on the raw, it has wonderful medicinal properties like antioxidant, antimicrobial, and detoxing. Toxins is one of the main reasons for onslaught of diabetes at lifestyle disorders at a early stage because of buildup of toxins that the system doesn't work very well. But stevia, by using it, actually detoxes your body, and so that you can reverse, in many cases, the lifestyle disorders which has already gone in. There are thousands and thousands of clinical trials made in Japan who adopted this in 1977, and it is beyond debate further. It has already been proven beyond doubt. Just to mention a few of the medicinal and therapeutic values, it has highly antioxidant, anti-aging basically, detoxing, antimicrobial. It has very, very good antimicrobial features. We can test it yourself, putting a few leaves in your mouth and sleeping it, and next morning you don't even have to breathe it because all the microbial activity goes for hibernation. It has good polyphenols, flavonoids. The greatest thing of this is detoxing, which detoxes your body so your organs can work properly. It has alkaloids and flavonoids, which actually retards the growth of cancer cells. It fights it. So there are wonderful and rare, rich minerals like magnesium and zinc and potassium and all will help you increase your immunity. It increases your immunity, detoxes your body, restricts cancer cell development, and it's just wonderful, wonderful medicinal and therapeutic values are there. All of them have been proven beyond doubt with clinical trials done in Japan, where it's in Japan. And it's not just that. Japanese have done so much of research on stevia. It's not only just helpful on humans, it is very, very helpful in agriculture area, dairy farming, fishery, goatery, poultry, piggery. Every area they have done research, and documents are available on the net, and it's easy if you can get it. It's not just a sweetener, it's a medicine, I would call it. So how do we position the stevia? Is if you look at a natural sweetener area like sugar, whether it's beet sugar or cane sugar or palm sugar or etc., they're all highly calorie have values are very high, and glycemic index is very high. When you look at the other extreme, which is the artificial sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame, etc., they are 0 calories, but they are artificial. They are toxic. They are carcinogenic. But our stevia sits beautifully between the two. It's natural, but 0 calories. Isn't it a wonder? Let's move forward. Over the years, it has been approved in more than 160 countries for human consumption, starting with Japan in 1977, and the whole world started to follow once the US FDA approved it in 2008-2009 frame. And as of today, I think more than 160 countries have approved it for human consumption in a generic level, that's at a grass level, can be used in any food for sweetening it. India approved it in the end of 2015, I think 26th November 2015, it got approved by FSI. And from then, we are free to use this as a natural alternate sweetener in our food and pharma industries. Oh, now the interesting factor is how big is the market? Everybody looks at, I want to grow something, but how big is the market? Is there any buyer for it? So sweetener market is something very, very, very huge and humongous. Let's look at the India, for example. India consumes approximately 150,000 crores equivalent of sugar every year. And Indian market for stevia, which is very, very new in India, is hardly about 15 to 18 crores, everybody together, which is approximately about 0.01% of the sweetener market. If you look at the global, it is much bigger. It's almost about $1 trillion, sorry, about $100 billion, about $90 billion plus globally annually. And stevia around $500 to $600 million was last year, which is about 0.5% of the market share in the sweetener market, which means which is in a very, very nascent stage of growth of the market. The biggest example how much it can grow is proven by Japan. Japan has replaced it almost by sugar by almost about 43% in their food and beverages. You can get these statistics on Google anywhere. So I just telling you to just to shorten the whole thing. It's not only that factor that market is big, but market is being pushed. For example, in many other countries, after being identifying sugar as one of the root causes for lifestyle disorders and social health, public health, they have restricted use of sugar in many things and restricted the quantity of sugar to be used in food and beverage, and to avoid as a deterrent, they have increased the tax based on the sugar content. For example, in Malaysia, in UK, and in Brazil, there is an additional tax what is called a sugar tax. So, for example, in Dubai and Middle East, some of the cases, the overall tax for a Coca-Cola or a beverage goes to almost about 50%. So it is being used as a deterrent for use of sugar in food and beverage, so that people can be happy. Now we have a wonderful way of giving sweetness without sugar. So stevia as a product has, I can say, has a good market growth possibility. You can call it exponential or even explosive. Oh, this is what is the problem. This is what is the solution. This is what is the market. What do we do in this? Stevia World was started more like a socio-economic project about 8 years back. And this was a mission statement we have shown you earlier. We do all aspects of stevia. We grow stevia, we get stevia grown, we cultivate it with through our contract farming model. We buy back the produce of the leaves, we process it into a stevia extract concentrate. Then this concentrate is about 350 times sweeter than sugar, which cannot be used directly by a normal person. So we do formulations, what people can use in powder, liquid, tablet, sachet, various forms at various concentration levels. But again, not many people in India, the industry knows how to replace sugar with stevia. So our R&D in our application segment, we help industry to migrate sugar to stevia in their beverage without losing their taste profiles. So we work hard on that areas also. So let's go a little bit deep about cultivation, which is because we're talking on agricultural website. So let's talk a little bit more deeper about cultivation. So we do cultivate in our own forms. We do mainly all our thing comes from contract farming model, and we do some joint ventures with large people. One of the major advantages of stevia, especially globally, there is a huge trend on water. Everybody wants to save water because everybody expects that there will be no water for the next generation. Yes, stevia helps you in conservation of water. The amount of water required for cultivation of 1 acre of sugar cane, we can grow somewhere between 12 to 15 acres of stevia, and gives you the 10 times the sweetness what is given by 1 acre of sugar cane. So this gives you sweetness and saves water also. Ideally, the climatic conditions, tropical climate, 25 to 35 degrees would be ideal temperature. More or less across India, we can do it. But plant can survive from almost like 4 degrees to 45 degrees, almost across India. Ideally, the highest growth and result happens between 25 to 35 degrees. This thing. And the roots are very sensitive. So ideally, a red loamy soil or a red sandy soil is the most preferred. It grows very well in that. And ideally, the soil should be slightly acidic. pH should be anywhere between 5.5 to 7.5 would be the ideal soil conditions for stevia cultivation. Normally, stevia, as I said, the roots are very sensitive and roots are very short. So it goes only about 5-6 inches into the ground. So we normally cultivate it over the raised beds. We raise the bed by about half a feet, and so that the root doesn't even touch the actual ground. It rests on the bed itself, so that even if there is some water down there in the in the ground, it does not affect. And we do anywhere the bed between 4 to 6 feet, and we leave about 1.5 feet for walking across on the other side, both sides of the thing. So you can see how we have planted. This is what we have understood and we have practiced for about 8 years. We worked along with the University of Agricultural Sciences and Indian Institute of Horticulture Research in Bangalore. We have actually tried out many ways of doing it, and we have finalized the good agricultural practices for stevia. And this is what we are talking about. We're talking about a 4 feet bed with two drip irrigation lines, and we'll have two plants planted on either side of the drip irrigation, so that even on a 4 feet bed you have four plants, and in a 6 feet bed you will have 3 drips and 6 plants. Okay, so this is how you can ask questions as we go forward at the end of the thing. We have tried out various irrigation methodologies. We thought what we have found is online drip irrigation would be ideal. Sometimes microjet will also work, but the larger jet and flood irrigation will not work with this plant, because the plant and the roots and the leaves are all very sensitive. So jet will hit the leaves and it will break. Our flood irrigation will have so much of water that the roots get rotten. So those two are not preferred. Others we can always work. It requires very little water. It requires moisture. That moist climate not require much of water. Harvesting, once we plant, the plant can stay almost for 5 years, and you harvest like you harvest the grass. You leave about 1 inch from the ground and cut the whole plant. And it actually, like a pruning, it grows bigger and bigger after every harvest. Harvest we do generally about 2.5 to 3 months average. So in a year you'll get about 4 to 5 harvests, depending upon the climatic conditions. 4 to 5 harvests you get in a year. And once it is harvested, the leaves has to be dried. Drying of the leaves is also an art. We cannot dry it in sun, because we lose all the glycoside content. It becomes burnt, and if you put it on the ground, it becomes rotten. So we should, to avoid all that, we need to have a air circulation through and through, and no direct sunlight. So we will help you how to design those drying stands. It's very simple, using simple nets, or whatever you want to call it, shade nets, and we create a stand at a multi-layer, and we dry it in the shade. It should not be dried in hot sun directly, or should not be put on the ground. But if you put on the ground, the bottom layer will be rotten. If you put to the sun directly, upper layer will be burned. So both are not good. So we design our own drying mechanisms. Of course, the modern technology of drying, like microwave-based drying, can also be used. We only talked about the cost-effective way of drying on the field itself. So you can see some of this thing done, shading, drying huts or drying areas, which can be done. Or as I said, it can be a modern heat dryer or a solar dryer or a microwave dryer or anything like that also can be used. If you look at the cultivation economics, everybody should be interested to know, what am I going to make? How does it work? There's a question which comes in. So here is something what we want to talk about, this economics, what we have done with our experience. And we did it a small 10-acre plot. Every acre needs about 40 to 42,000 plants at a 4 feet bed and a 4 in a row. And we sell the mature plants, roots, at about 3 rupees each, so that it becomes, we grow it for almost about 6-8 months, cut the top and remove the roots and give it to you so that it becomes, germination becomes much easier, transportation becomes much easier, and it's a sure shot of plant coming up. So we sell it at about 3 rupees per plant. And theoretical yield per year is almost about 3,500 kgs or 3.5 tons of dry leaf weight per kg, but we have not seen much. I've shown the more detailed calculation here. Harvest 4 to 5 harvests a year, and we buy it at anywhere between 80 to 120 rupees, and if the quality is good, it may go up to 150 rupees also per kg of the dry leaf. This is all the farm gate prices, by the way. We will take care. Let's look at our practical example of whatever we have experienced. Year one, we get about 35% of the theoretical yield because the plant is very low. It gets about 1.2 tons. Year two, we get about 65% or about 2.3 tons. Year three is peak. You get about 85 to 90% of the theoretical, which is about 3 tons plus. And after that, it deteriorates year 4 at 70%, year 5 at 6%. So overall, you get about 11 to 12 tons in 5 years. And if you calculate at 100 rupees average, you take about 1.1 crores per acre, which is about 10 lakhs per acre per 5 years. But if you look at the costing side of it, we talk only about the revenue side of it. We talk about the costing part of it. We have a small calculation starting from land preparation to plant sapling to fertigation to pesticide to bio labor charges and whatever is our experience, including this thing. It comes to over 5 years, it comes to about 56 lakhs or 5.6 lakhs per acre. When we do all the calculation in detail, so we came up with almost about 1.1 lakh rupees of profit per acre per year for stevia cultivation assured. Okay, so we can debate on it if you required further. What are the advantages of stevia cultivation, contract farming along with us? Is one, you don't have to worry about like people, everybody worries about every 3 months, what do I put? Is it tomato or brinjal or bindi or I don't know, whatever, cabbage. So they don't know. Every time they have to think what to grow. Here, if you put it, it's there for 5 years. You don't have to worry. How to grow? Everybody has been growing something. They want to do a classical manner. So here we do a little bit of scientific analysis that will help you how to grow. Where to sell is another big issue. Which market? Revenue market or give it to the agent? What am I going to get is another part. So major 5 parts of this, we get how to grow, what to grow, where to sell, how much do I get? And the greatest of this is perishability. Most of the times I see, farmers from Kolar not being able to sell grown tomatoes and they put it at the roadside because it perishes, it rots, it cannot be used. And luckily for us, stevia is a dry leaf what we use. It has long shelf life of about a year or plus, something like that. So it does not have perishability in the next thing. So you are safe. You're safe on 4, 5 aspects. We will help you what to grow, how to grow, where to sell, how much you get as a fixed rate contract, and perishability. So these are some of the things which we want to solve problems of our farmers through our contract farming. Okay, thank you. Once we bring the leaves back into the factory, we do manufacture, we do extraction of this phytochemical like a sugar factory in a little way. So we are ISO 22000 and halal certified for a global supply chain. We are FSI approved, and we have our own in-house R&D and well-defined standard operating procedures at every stage. This is some of the certificates you can see, and we can always debate on it. We have the whole, after that, concentrate we take, and we produce a lot of sweetener products which can be used by individuals as well as industry, B2B as well as B2C. So this is some of the pictures we want to do. I will briefly run through product as we required. Okay. We sell the leaf itself because this has a medicinal value. The package comes with 50 grams of leaves, and it can be used directly with the hot water in a concoction. It can be used like a medicine as well as a sweetener. And we have a sweetener product packaged in different areas, like sachets, like jars. We have reduced the concentration from 350 to about 12 to 15 so that a normal person can use this or with their coffee, tea, or juice, or lassi, or anything like that. It can be used even to prepare sweets like most of the sweets can be prepared with this. So no more avoidance of sweets by anybody. Yes, it's good to avoid sugar. You should not avoid sweets. So even if you're diabetic, you can say, please take sweets, but take the sweets with stevia. That is what is important to tell. And for people who travel a lot, we have it in the tablet form. People who love easier distribution, we have it in a liquid format. So we have it in powder, liquid, every other format. We also produce a higher intensity stevia sweetener for the industry. We call it Sweetex. The earlier one all we used to call it as Ceravia. Sweetex is about 20 to 22 times sweeter than sugar. And this is used by at least about 10 to 12 different industries in chocolates, chawanprash, juices, peda, Indian sweets, bakery. Every application can be used. We also have a tea bag format for people who want to use it as both as a sweetener as well as a medicinal value. And you can dip it in the hot water and you have a beautiful sweet green tea, which has wonderful medicinal therapeutic values for you. And we do produce some chocolates here now and then which is absolutely sugar free. I don't know how many of you know about it, that if you buy a standard chocolate from the market shelf, 50% of it is just sugar. Another 35 to 40% is fat. The chocolate content is hardly about 6 to 8%. Why people advise children not to eat sugar, chocolate, or elders to not to eat chocolate, people with lifestyle disorders not to eat chocolate. It's not because of chocolate. It is because of the content of sugar and fat in it, which is almost like 85 to 90%. But we have something which has zero sugar, absolutely no sugar involved, but it is sweet. This is what you have to say. You should say, don't eat chocolate. No, eat chocolate with stevia. That is the way we have to look at it. Yep, small brief applications. We can use it with coffee, tea, beverages, juices, smoothies, lassis, badam milk, flavored milk, yogurt, Srikhand, peda, any application. Wherever you have sugar, you can use it. You can make kesri bath, holge, poli, anything we can do. We can use it in bakery, you can use it in confectionery, you can use it in desserts, we can use it in Indian sweets. Yes, this is a wonderful gift of nature to us of sweetness and wellness together. Oh, thank you. So this is what we have to say about what we do and what about stevia. If you want to just visit our website, steviaworld.com, where we have, there are several documentaries created on us on stevia. You can visit our YouTube channel or you can visit our website and watch all of them. It's available in various languages. It's in Kannada, it's in Malayalam, it's in Telugu, it's in Hindi, it's in English. There are many languages available on that. Various TV channels have produced it. We have not done it. I don't know how many of you appreciate this area of approach. A lot of government entities and private institutions have appreciated that this is going to be affecting the society in a big way, and it has in the future to come. It is future looking, and we have received several awards and recognitions, both domestically and internationally. And a lot of these videos of these awards are available on our YouTube channel and on our website. Please do visit them and look into them. So the whole project was built on a social impacting the society. So let us look at what are those some small societies before we close our this talk about it. This improves the farmers' social impact. Less water, higher income per acre, assured buyback, which will get the farmer what he is looking for, and it will impact the society in a big way. This is also our Honorable Prime Minister said we have to double the farmers' income. Yes, we do contribute it to that scheme in a small way. Health impact, of course. How many of you can object to it? It will not impact health. The whole social public health will improve with decreased lifestyle disorders, which is created because of sugar and other things. We will do a little bit of 2 cent contribution into the social health, which is in line with our Honorable Prime Minister's Swasth Bharat Yojana. It also contributes in a big way in a economically, because globally stevia, processed stevia comes almost about 99% from China. Thanks to the socio-political, geopolitical situation, less number of people want to buy from the country of origin as of today. And they're all looking at India as an alternate supplier. India has wonderful agroclimatic conditions to grow. We have the technology to process. India as a country is better respected as a food and pharma supplier to the whole world. So this can really contribute by making it in India in a big way, not a big way, in a small way at least, to the economy, the exports and other things. And environmentally, it is going to affect very big way because it uses very, very less water per acre of cultivation. It's almost like, as I said earlier, the amount of water required to grow 1 acre of sugar cane, we can grow almost 12 to 15 acres of stevia. So let's all join hands with this social cause and the health cause, and let's all be happy and healthy eating sweets. That's all I have to say today. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, everybody around. And I would like to take some questions from now on.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for a detailed and informative presentation. I'll take up the questions from the participants now. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen, sir, so that we can see your full video?
Yeah.
You have one red button there, sir. Stop
Yeah.
sharing.
Okay, stop here. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. The first question is, what is your contract farming model for stevia cultivation?
Yeah, as I explained, our contract farming model includes we sell our planting material to the farmer, train them how to grow it, from land preparation to planting to plant maintenance to irrigation to harvesting to drying to packing. And at the end of it, as far as it is in the acceptable quality standards, we buy back at an agreed price per quality. Okay. So the whole model is starting from plant to produce.
Okay. In which regions of India can you offer the contract farming model?
Currently, our processing abilities allows us to produce Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and south part of Maharashtra. We can always do that. With our processing capacity increasing, we'll be doing it in multiple places also.
Okay, the next question is, what do you think are the main problems faced by farmers growing stevia?
Problems of farmers growing stevia is generally the quality of planting material is not available. Number one. That means you want to grow Alfonso, but you get Totapuri. So stevia, there are more than about 164 breeds within stevia as a family. All of them are not useful. Only couple of them are useful because the content inside that, what we call it TSG, is the total stevia glycoside content, is very important when we use it for extraction. So we have to make sure that we have the right breed plant given by the right person to grow so that it is useful.
Okay. What has been your experience with contract farming? Have you faced any problems dealing with farmers?
This is a very interesting, intelligent question. So as soon as I came back to India about 8 years back before starting this, we attended a small course on contract farming with Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. So after 1 week of course, he said, contract farming does not work in India. This is a statement given by the instructor. I said, why did we waste time for 1 year, 1 week, listening to all various parts of pros and cons of contract farming, ultimately making this decision? Yes. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Please proceed, sir. We can answer to that question.
Okay, let me know when I have to start back.
Sir, you can proceed, sir. You can answer to that question.
Yeah, so I was telling you about the story of a course which we attended with Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. And at the end of the course, they said, contract farming does not work in India. I said, what do you mean? Why did we spend so much time and money and effort to learn the course to go back? I said, in India, legally enforcing things on farmer is very difficult. Contract farming will not work, but contact farming will work. Meaning it is one-to-one relationship, respect, mutual commitment. That's what works. So we have to win the confidence of the farmers and work closely with them to make things work, not legally, which is very difficult.
Okay. The next question is, what advice can you give for farmers wanting to start with stevia farming?
Very good. So what I would say is first, check whether you have a red sandy soil. Black clay soil will not work for you. A little bit of water requirement is there. We can always check the soil content and water content for the pH and organic content, etc. You can send us the certificates of testing so that we can validate and tell you that whether it is good area for that or not. And main thing I would say that even if you have 100 acres or 200 acres, you want to do it, I would not advise it. I would advise go for 1 or 2 acres to start with. Let the plant get adjusted to that area. You get adjusted to the plant. And then once you're successful in going to 1 or 2 acres, then you can expand it as much as you want. That's my advice.
Okay. Can you please tell us about your background, sir? What made you take an interest in this business?
I don't think anybody would like to see what is the madman's behind. Yeah, actually, I got nothing to do with agriculture, nothing to do with wellness, nothing to do with medication. I'm basically an engineering graduate, worked in the IT infrastructure field about 25 years, out of which 20 years outside India. When I came, but I've been an entrepreneur for about 20 years now. When I came back to India, I saw something which I want to contribute back to the society, back to my country. So I chose to help, try to help farmers, the farming community. And I started only to, help to bring a new crop, which has futuristic. But when we did all that for 2 years, then we realized that nobody knows how to use it. So I had to extend my portfolio to extraction. Then even the extract, after 1 year, we know that nobody knows how to use it. So I had to go into formulations and making products. So we did a forward integration when compared to everybody doing a backward integration. Now, the whole purpose of this was to, as I said, our mission statement, to help farmers, people, and saving billions of dollars for development.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
So I don't have the agricultural background, but now I do take classes in university in agriculture about overall aspects of it. That's how we have gone into it deeply.
That's very
With passion. With passion. That's the word.
That's very inspiring, sir. Thank you very much. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I thank Dr. Manjunath for the talk and for answering the questions. I also like to thank all the participants in this meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
You're
you
welcome,
for
sir.
giving an opportunity to talk about it. And if anybody has any questions, you can always send it through Agri Information. We will answer whatever we can.
Yeah, we have shared your contact details also, sir. They will establish contact with you.
If I can
Okay.
be helped to solve some farmers' problems, some society problems, I'll be the happiest man to do it.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, everybody.
You're welcome.
Bye for now.
Bye.